Last weekend I had the enormous pleasure of joining the guides from the Tweed Valley and from Midlothian as part of the start of their centenary celebrations. I'm lucky enough to be a guiding ambassador for Midlothian and support the Tweed Valley movement. The Peebles first unit of guides was the first to be registered in Scotland, and I was very pleased to have secured time in the Parliament for a debate to mark the centenary of the guiding movement. Many MSPs from across all the different parties in all of Scotland spoke in the debate, and the debate was followed up by a reception that I hosted in the Parliament here for guides across Scotland to celebrate with them the commitment and the benefit that the whole of the country has gained from the guiding movement over the last century. And I know that within my constituency, right across Tweeddale and across Lauderdale and the Central Borders, the guiding movement, as well as the Scouts and the Boys and Girls Brigade, do enormous work for citizenship and the local community. This week in the Parliament, however, is focused much more on the government's budget. It will be a tight budget, and we know that, and both with the pressures from the Westminster government, as well as the fact that the Scottish Government itself has made decisions to bring forward funding from next year into this, leaves a very difficult set of choices that have to be made to make sure that the public services that we all rely on continue unaffected. Through my casework, I know that there is a huge amount of pressure already within our schools, within services for elderly people in the Borders and Midlothian in particular. And I will be ensuring that in the budget process, the priority is in the services that I know that people rely on, whether or not it's in our local hospitals or our GP practices, in our primary schools and secondary schools, or indeed our transport provision. But the focus is going to have to be also on making tough choices, and that means that the Scottish Government will have to be making decisions of delivering services in a different way, and indeed making government in Scotland smaller. The choices that we'll be making over the next few years is a very different set of choices that we've had to make over the first 10 years of the Parliament, where the budget has grown year on year. All parties are going to be having to put forward suggestions with regards to the budget, and I'll be making sure that in my discussions with the Cabinet Secretary for Finance, John Swinney, local services, as well as the size of government in Scotland, is right to the fore of those discussions. At a more local level, over the last week, I've had meetings with the new Chief Superintendent of Police, meetings with Scottish Enterprise and Borders Council with regards to the Abbotsford project and the need for continuing support for that, as well as meeting with the Enterprise Company, the Forestry Commission and Councillor Graham Garvey in Tweeddale, talking about the uplift for mountain biking in Innerleithen. Both the Abbotsford project as well as the uplift for Innerleithen are two of my key priorities for the months ahead, and in future broadcasts then I'll be giving updates with regards to those projects. Finally, the cross-party group on veterans, which I chair, met this week to discuss the very pressing issues with regards to the care and support that our veterans need. We've got many more young veterans across Scotland, and the cross-party group has been established to make sure that this Parliament adds that bit of extra focus on supporting our former armed services for both men and women right across the area. And that is an area where I'll be taking, not only from a national level but also at a local level with the Health Board and the Council, looking at local services for those people who've served in our armed forces. It's a mixed bag of work, from the budget to girl guides and veterans, but that just highlights one aspect of how varied this job is. And in future podcasts then you'll be learning more about my work on your behalf. As always, please get in touch with me with regards to any issues that I can help with, either on a local basis or raise here in the Parliament. That is my job, and I would really like to hear from you.